Today on Time About the Movies, we have the latest installment of the Twilight series, and you would think after the last two movies, there's no way that the Twilight Saga Eclipse would be good, right? Well, prepare to be surprised by that. And you also have M. Night Shyamalan taking on Nickelodeon's Avatar: The Last Airbender with The Last Airbender. Now, you would think that somebody who claims to be a big fan of the Avatar series would want to make a truly faithful adaptation to the television series, and we would get a good movie out of it, right? Well, prepare to be surprised. This weekend is literally the definition of a don't judge a book by its cover situation, because, yeah, prepare to be surprised on these two movies in particular. As we reach the halfway point of 2010, July 2nd to be exact, this is Time About the Movies. And welcome to Time About the Movies. As I said, we're at the halfway point of the year of 2010, July 2nd, with two movies to open up on 4th of July weekend. And yeah, let's start off with the biggest new release of both of them, and that is, of course, the third installment of the Twilight series, the Twilight Saga Eclipse. In this one, Bella, is played by Kristen Stewart, is once again caught in a love triangle between Edward and Jacob, Robert Pattinson, and Taylor Lautner, when Victoria, played by Bryce Dallas Howard, wants revenge on Bella and Edward for the death of her lover from the first two films, so she puts together a new team of vampires to face off against Bella for revenge. And now that I've seen this film, I can easily say that if someone forced me to watch any of these movies again, this one would be the one. I want to tell you guys something. When I saw this mostly as a blind watch. I mean, there was literally no other new releases out there except for the one we're going to get to later on, but I figured, you know what the hell, I'll go check this one out. I mean, if I gotta see one of them, I gotta figure this one can't be that. I gotta figure that this one can't be that bad. Cause this was the first one I ever saw. I didn't see the other one until very late on down the road, and much to my surprise, this one was actually kind of not bad. It's not a great movie, but it certainly is the top of the Twilight movies. I mean, this is the one where they got it right for just a little bit. I mean, I think it's just because David Slade, the director of 30 Days of Night and Hard Candy, came in there and said, you know, I'm not going to give these teens the same old... I'm not going to just entertain the teen audiences for this. I'm going to entertain the parents who are being forced to come to this bullshit. Because, yeah, it really does feel like David Slade told everybody, listen, you can do what you want to do, but I'm going to every up the script here so the parents and the people who are going to be dragged to this are going to have something to watch from this. Because apparently, I don't know what happened here, but David Slade came in and just really woke everybody up on how you're supposed to do this. I mean, this really is not as bad as I was expecting it to be. I mean, the visual effects are definitely a lot better than they were in New Moon. I mean, New Moon had some really, really bad visual effects to it, but this is the one where they got it right. I mean, the other ones failed miserably at it. We actually get a history of these characters in general. They get well crafted and explained storylines about what the scenarios are, and you can tell that Slade punched up the script big time to include a lot of great in-jokes here. I mean, there's one of the biggest complaints about these movies is that the werewolves always have their shirts off, and even Robert Pattinson basically delivers the line is just like, you know, does that guy ever put a shirt on? It's just like, the movie is clearly aware. The people who wrote the script for this is clearly aware of the problems that many people have with the other Twilight movies, and it's showing in this movie. The most shocking thing about this whole movie in general is the fact that Taylor Lautner is actually pretty good in this. I mean, I was actually kind of surprised how good he was in this movie. I mean, he was the one who was really carrying the best material from this. I mean, it's the one time in the history of his career that he actually does give it his all as a grown-up. I mean, technically he's kind of a teenager at this point, but at the same time, it's really a lot better than some of the other crap he's been involved in. And, you know, everybody in here is doing the best they can here. I mean, not everything about the movie is great overall. Of course, Bella and Edward are still a couple you can't really buy into. Not really because of the fault of Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart. God bless them. They're trying their best to save this material, but we've seen time and time again that they're good actors just caught with terrible material. This one is the least bad of the material they've been given in this, but it's still something where you really still can't buy them as a couple in general. If anything, you want to see Bella get together with Jacob because he's the one who's actually going to be the better lover and actually is somebody who is trying their best to act like a normal person in general. It's just like, I also think it's kind of odd that the vampires are apparently made of glass. Every time they get killed, they get shattered like glass. It's just like it's just like, and also the vampires and werewolves kill other vampires. You see them pull their heads off, but they look and sound like glass. It's just like, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And again, like, why do the werewolves always have their shirts off? I mean, it's just like, it could literally be snowing, and it's just like, dude, you could be looking at one of these guys. It's just like, dude, it's 12 degrees outside. What do you think you are, living in Pittsburgh? You're supposed to wear a sweatshirt and shorts when you're in the snow up here. I mean, that's literally what we do around here. You ever see the meme of the guy walking around in sweatshirt with a sweatshirt but shorts on? That's me. I mean, I live in Western Pennsylvania. That's pretty much what we do up here in the snow, because it's just like, hey, our stomachs, our body and chest can be warm, but our legs, we don't worry about them getting cold. I mean, we're like Elsa from Frozen. The cold never bothers us anyway. But yeah, Kristen Stewart's fine in here too. But at the same time, it doesn't help that she's playing her character's kind of a fucking bitch, douchebag. I mean that's literally what I wrote in my review for this. That yeah, Bella is not the best female role model that these movies keep trying to elevate as like a strong, independent female. It's just like, no, she's a cock-teasing bitch. And granted, she's not the worst thing about this, but there are still moments in there that make you want to pull your goddamn hair out because of how annoying she can be in this. But again, not Kristen Stewart's fault. She's doing the best she can, but the character just sucks. But I mean, this is definitely, if you're going to be forced to watch one of these Twilight movies, this is the one to do it. It felt like the director came in and said, hey, my name's attached to this. I'm going to give you a good movie, whether you like it or not. And everybody in here, everything in here is a lot better than it was before this, and will be after this, because Breaking Dawn's parts 1 and 2 come up in the next couple of years, and they somehow went back to the basics and somehow made it even worse than they did before. And that one has an Academy Award-winning screenwriter as the director, Bill Condon, who gave us Dreamgirls, and it's just like he also directed Dreamgirls too. But overall, this is the best of the series. I won't say it's a great movie per se, but like I said, if you're being forced to watch one of these movies, like if you are on a date and somebody says, hey, let's watch a Twilight movie, let's just pretend like you don't know what you're talking about, what these movies are, and look at one of the movies in there and go like, how about this one, Eclipse? I think it makes it worth it in the end. I mean, that's probably that's just my thinking on that per se. But with all that said, that's the Twilight Saga Eclipse. Now, you would think the next movie, M. Night Shyamalan's adaptation of The Last Airbender, Avatar: The Last Airbender, would be pretty good. I mean, the trailers look pretty badass. I mean, yeah, they did a great job of selling the movie over a year before it came out. That was put out in front of Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. I mean, they were building this up as to be the next big blockbuster. And such a good trailer, too. Like, you have Aang inside of this temple, and then he's blowing all this air out, and you see all these people coming up to try to kill him, all these ships coming to kill him. Like, it sounds like they're heading in the right direction. And then you see the movie, and you get a movie that is one of the biggest insults to a series that I've ever seen in my entire life. I have delved into this movie in length. This is my 7th worst movie that I've ever seen in my life, so I won't really go too much into it. I'll just kind of give you a sum up here. I mean, this is basically just a Cliff Note version of the first season, where the world is divided into 4 kingdoms, each represented by the elements they harness, and under the supervision of the Avatar, peace at last. They're a link to the spirit world, and the only being capable of mastering the use of all 4 elements. When the young Avatar Aang disappears, the Fire Nation launches an attack to eradicate all members of the Air Nomads. And later on down the road, siblings Katana and Sokka from the Southern Water Tribe find a mysterious boy trapped beneath the ice outside their village. He's revealed to be Aang, Avatar and the last of the Air Nomads. Swearing to protect the Avatar, Katara and Sokka journey with him to the Northern Water Kingdom in his quest to master waterbending, and eventually fulfill his destiny of once again restoring peace to the world. But as they inch nearer to the goal, this group must evade Prince Zuko, the exiled son of Lord Ozawa, Commander Zhao, the Fire Nation's military leader, and the tyrannical onslaught of the evil Fire Lord himself. Which they show in the movie, and if you've seen the series, you know that this thing, they grabbed a great actor. Cliff Curtis is a good actor, but he is not threatening as the Fire Lord like Mark Hamill's character was in the show. And that's the biggest problem with this. M. Night Shyamalan has said he's a fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I mean, he had it in the last movie he did, The Happening, as like a little as a backpack as one of the in there. So he's trying to make the argument that he clearly knows what he's doing because he loves the series, and you know, everyone's waiting to see what he can do that's completely different from his usual works. And I'll say this, it is completely different from his usual works because it's even more of a shittier movie than a lot of the worst movies he's ever made. I mean, what more can you say? This is fucking awful. This guy, who claims to be a fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender, doesn't even know how powerful the nations are here, the abilities of these people are doing. Like, they show scenes where, you know, they have these groups of people together, and they're about to do an attack, and they throw one rock at the Fire Nation. When in the show, that same group was able to blow up a fucking tank. How do you go from blowing up a tank to throwing one measly rock? Like, and the problems are just all over the place, from the fact that he has these pronunciations for all the characters. I'm sorry, it's not Katara and Sokka, it's supposed to be Katara and Sokka. Like, it's something like that. And, you know, General Iroh, like General Iroh, like that type of stuff. And it's just like, none of it makes any sense whatsoever. And the actors they get to play these characters are so wooden and so bland. Like, oh my god, can you please just fucking emote for once in your life? And you know the movie doesn't take itself seriously, where you literally have a character who has hair like a penis. Like, you know exactly what I'm talking about if you've seen this movie. Like, one scene in the movie is the perfect definition of how much this guy has no idea what the fuck he's doing. This is absolutely one of the worst things I've ever seen in my entire life. And this is coming from somebody who never saw the show before this, and it made me want to see the show afterwards to really see how much of a screw-up this was. I mean, it was like that with The Dark Knight a couple years ago. I never saw Batman the Animated Series until I watched The Dark Knight. And I did. I ended up really loving that show after that point. This made me give Avatar: The Last Airbender a lot more praise to it, and actually made me realize that, yeah, there is a lot of potential for some good materials here, but good lord, not with this guy here. I'm fully convinced M. Night Shyamalan made this movie and claimed to be the big fan it was because he got so scared. He was so much of a chicken because somebody was able to make him a better material than anything he could have ever done. I'm more than 100% convinced that M. Night Shyamalan did this on purpose to make The Last Airbender look like a terrible piece of entertainment, which it's not. If you've never seen this show, if you've never seen The Legend of Korra, watch the shows themselves. You can avoid the live-action Netflix show, because that one doesn't really do it a whole lot better, but what more do you got to say about this? The Last Airbender is a steaming pile of garbage. It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. I've gone into this in great detail before. The video's out there on this channel. You can go check that out, but what more do you got to say? M. Night Shyamalan, fuck you for ruining The Last Airbender for so many people. But, hey, there is a positive to this. More people ended up loving that show because of what M. Night Shyamalan did. So I guess there's that. I mean, you gotta have the yin to your yang in this situation, or a con to a pro, whatever metaphor you want to use here. So with all that said, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies. Next time we meet, we'll take a look at 4 more movies, including the biggest of the new releases, the first film from Universal and Illumination Entertainment, and the introduction to the Minions, the introduction to Gru, and the introduction to the Despicable Me franchise. We also have Robert Rodriguez producing the remake. It's not really a remake, but a new revival of Predator, starring Adrian Brody and also featuring Lawrence Fishburne, and directed by the same guy that gave us Vacancy. We also have the second part of the Millennium Trilogy, The Girl Who Played with Fire, and we also have Annette Bening, Julianne Moore, and Mark Ruffalo in Lisa Cholodenko's The Kids Are Alright. So we got 4 movies to look at, and a lot of good movies overall. So we'll definitely take a look at those movies coming up tomorrow on the show. But with all that said, though, thank you so much for watching this, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, that subscribe button, and the notification button. And also don't forget to hit the playlist on the next page, as well as check out the previous episode. Ooh, excuse me. But with all that said, whether it's in the past, the present, or the future, I will see you at the movies. Take care.